What are we talking about? What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica. Happy Martin Luther King Day. We are down here. We're down here to talk about two shows. So you'll have a couple videos coming today. I don't know which one this video is going to be or when it's going to post, but this is the first one I'm recording. I just want something new to review, something new to talk about, a new set of friends, a new set of casts, something to talk about. So I am going to review Bling Empire, Bridgerton, and then come back later and do Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know that you guys watched Belle Collective last week. The review is already up. If you haven't watched Belle Collective, it's a new show on OWN following a friend group of entrepreneurs, of black women in Jackson, Mississippi. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch that. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let the people know you stopped by. Go ahead and hit the notification bell button twice. Is that a button? Or I think it's a button. Okay, go ahead and hit that twice. Today is Monday. It's a lazy day. No work today. So I'm going to get these videos out, and hopefully you guys will have some content today and tomorrow to enjoy. So let's get into Bridgerton. I'll go ahead and review that first because that came out actually last year. Bridgerton is a alternate history period drama romance set in 1813. It's based on a book by Julia Quinn called Bridgerton, and it's also executive produced by Shonda Rhimes. It's actually centered on two families, mainly two families, the Bridgertons and the Featheringtons. The entire season takes place during the social season for when they arrange marriages. The debutantes are presented to the court, and the queen, approves or not. And so that's what we kind of see in the beginning. And then also there is a woman named Lady Whistledown, and she basically writes like a gossip circular that comes out every week, that really basically gives kind of her opinion about what's going on with the debutantes and how well they are finding suitors and potential husbands. And then Lady Whistledown is narrated by Julie Andrews. So we already said this was executive produced by Shonda Rhimes. And you know what Shonda Rhimes gives you? Multiracial, multicultural cast. It's not your typical scene in London in 1813 where the high society was white. So you're seeing a black, white, Asian, Indian. I mean, you're seeing every type of person on the screen. So it gives you an idea like this is not what it would be like if, but this is what it would be like if. Basically, there are mentions of race in the series, but it's not something that has the construction of racism in America. So it's just a color thing. You're a different color. But the queen is a black woman and the king is a white man. And so that's going to give you an idea of what's going on. But this is just the first episode. So I know that we've all watched it. So for those who have not watched Bridgerton and are watching this review, I am going to try my best if you haven't watched it, because it is a series that you can binge watch on Netflix. So I'm going to do it episode by episode, and I'm going to try to keep true to the episode without, lending my knowledge to the episodes that come after, okay? So hopefully if you haven't watched it, you can be able to follow along with the reviews and not know what's going to happen on the next review or the next episode if you don't want to watch it. I know there's some people who don't even have Netflix. Y'all cancel Netflix because of Monique. No, I'm just kidding. All right, anyway. So let's get into the episode. First scene is they're presenting the women to the court, to the Queen's court. Everybody's coming out. The Bridgertons are getting their life together, and the Featheringtons are also getting their life together. The Bridgertons has one debutante or one daughter who is being presented for marriage this season, and the Featheringtons have three daughters that they are presenting for arranged marriage. So they're looking for suitors. It's very much set we know that it's very patriarchal. We already have an idea of what's going on. it's so funny because when I was thinking about how I hear like modern women, especially black women, say they want traditional marriages, and I looked at Bridgerton and I was like, this is what you want, girl? You want to be arranged with somebody that possibly you don't like or anything like that? Because really people were marrying for status and according to class. There was no getting married for love. You got married that the marriage that you were joined with or that was arranged was for the betterment of your family, not for you. So the entire family had to see it worthy. You had to be, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like you weren't getting married for love. You were getting married to say this our houses would go good together. Our families would be good together. We can do a lot together. So if someone picks a man picks one of the daughters, they want him to be of good stature and of high class and of high society. And we see how that plays out in this episode. So let's get started. So they're presenting the debutantes to the court. The Featheringtons walk in first. Their names are Penelope, because she sticks out the most because she's best friends with one of the Bridgerton daughters. The first set of daughters, Philippa, Prudence, and Penelope. One of them faints, and as they're talking, you can hear the narration of Julie Andrews, who is narrating again, a woman who is writing a circular every week talking about the things that are happening at these balls. Then Daphne Bridgerton comes in, and let me tell you something. It's set in 1813 in London. The costumes are magnificent. The costumes, the hairstyles, everything. Baby, the queen, of course, the queen is a black woman, and she's sitting up on the damn stage, and she's looking at the people come in. The queen approves of Daphne. Daphne comes in. She is just this little, white little flower coming in and just, perfection. You got to be perfect for the queen, darling. And so the queen basically looks at her, I think kisses her on the forehead and says, flawless, my dear. And so everybody is just like, oh my God. So the Lady Whistledown, she writes in her circular that Daphne is now the incomparable. Like, people need to be watching out for Daphne. Daphne is that girl this season that these men need to pick. Even though there's hundreds, but Daphne is the girl this season. Bridgerton family are just basically going over what the queen said, right? They leave the queen's court. They're going over what she said, and they're excited. They're like, oh my God, what did she say about you? And the Featheringtons have three daughters, and then the Bridgertons have like 5 daughters or something like that, like 5 daughters. Let me see. Anthony, Colin, Gary, and 4 daughters. So the Viscount Bridgerton, her 4 sons, Anthony, Benedict, Colin, and Gregory, and her 4 daughters, Daphne, Eloise, Francesca, and Hyacinth. Those are lovely names. Come on, Hyacinth. They're just going over what the queen was talking about. They're excited. Of course, Daphne is excited because she hopes that she's going to continue this tradition, and being that she's top pick of the season, that's going to make it better for the other daughters next year. Eloise is a Bridgerton, and she is one who is rebellious. She is one that rejects the idea of patriarchy. She's one who rejects the idea of getting married to show your value. She wants to take a season off and hopefully find herself. Like, there's another daughter that has gone away, and she has been allowed to basically find herself. She's taken a season off. She's going to come back and I guess get married. We'll see. So Eloise is that girl. She doesn't want any of that. She wants to go off to school, and she's also intrigued on who this Lady Whistledown is, and she wants to figure out who Lady Whistledown is. So as they name Daphne the Incomparable, they basically are wanting to know who Lady Whistledown is. So the Featheringtons are upset because they have named, or the queen has named, in this circular, nobody knows who Lady Whistledown is. And this circular is basically like a gossip magazine, and everybody is like listening to what this woman's opinions are about what's going on during the season. So of course, Featherington is upset because Lady Whistledown basically says, like, girl, one of your daughters fainted at the court, so this is not going to be a good look for them. Everybody needs to be looking out for Daphne. So Featherington is upset. The Lady Featherington is upset, and she believes that the Whistledown is Violet Bridgerton, which is the mother. So Featherington is upset about Lady Whistledown's opinions about the what happened at the court earlier. They're also talking or discussing a distant cousin that is coming to visit, named Marina Thompson. And that's when Penelope offers to stay out for a year since Marina's going to come. And now Lady Featherington is going to have to present 4 girls instead of her 3 daughters because they have this distant cousin that's coming from some farm somewhere. So Lady Featherington is presumptuous and saying, she's poor. She only has a 4-figure dowry. How, what could she possibly look like? And it's probably not going to be a big competition with this new girl coming to town. So Marina Thompson walks in, and it's this beautiful woman who comes in. Her hair, she's a black girl. Her hair is up, and she's looking there. And even Penelope was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Like, girl, what are we about to do? This new girl's in town. So it's one less potential suitor. You know what I'm saying? The Duke, he rides into town. His name is Simon Bassett, the Duke of Hastings, right? And he is one of the main characters. He's a very handsome man. His name is Regis Jean Page. He's Zimbabwean and English. So he rolls into town because his dad died. And so he needs to make sure that he, settles all his affairs before. And he seems to have this kind of, like he doesn't want to be there. Like he doesn't want to be in the town. And now that it's, debutante season or mating season or whatever the hell they want to call it, the social season. He's there and he's like, much to his chagrin. You understand what I'm saying? He really doesn't want to be there. So out walks from his home Lady Danbury, who is basically kind of the woman who kind of took care of Simon on as he grew up. And so she's trying to convince him to stay for the social season. And, how great would it be for the season for the Duke to have arrived, an eligible bachelor who is hell-bent on not getting married. He does not want to get married. We haven't found out why he doesn't want to get married, but that's his thing right now. So Sienna is an opera singer, and she is messing with one of the Bridgerton's sons, Anthony. Now, Anthony is also what the girls would call a rake, which is basically a hoe, like a nigga who just gets around and fucks whatever. He just rakes through the girls, honey. Anthony and Simon are both considered rakes, basically. Anthony Bridgerton is screwing this girl who is of a different class. He could never, ever be seen with her. So it's his mistress, and it's this opera singer, and they have, this connection with each other. But because of his position and her position, it would not be a good look for them to partner with each other, even though they like each other a lot. He is the eldest Bridgerton son, and the father has passed away, so that is the reason why he's escorting Daphne to all of these balls, because he needs to make sure that she partners with someone who is going to uplift and bring up their social status as a family. He's explaining to Sienna that he has to take his sister out for these social seasons. And Sienna's basically telling him, will you always protect me? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to always protect you. I know that, basically, that we can't really be together, but I'll always, I always got you. I'll protect you, right? The season's opening is at the Danbury Ball. So remember, Lady Danbury is the woman who who actually raised Simon, the Duke of Hastings. And so it's so cute. Some of the little things about Bridgerton is that on the strings, right? So you know that they're in 1813. So the music that they're listening to is classical music, right? A lot of strings, um, and piano, right? So you can hear music as they're dancing at the ball, and it's contemporary music. Like they played "Thank You Next" on the strings, which is, if you didn't catch it, you had to hear it. Even my son came in the room, was like, "Is that, why are they playing that kind of music with, during this time period piece or whatever?" And I think it's a really cute little, just a Shonda Rhimes thing. You know what I'm saying? Later they were playing on the strings, Maroon 5, "Girls Like You." Bum, 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 bum. But they were playing it on the strings. It was so cute. And they were playing "Thank You Next." I thought it was cute. And so they were dancing to that. So it's like, I loved it. I love that little, just that little, something that small makes it really cute. So all the girls are basically, talking to the guys. They're just showing a roundabout. Everybody is like mingling and talking, trying to find a suitor. And the older women are gossiping about the girls and how they were last season, and that girl was seen with that boy without a chaperone. I don't know how they're going to match her up with anybody, because who ain't no telling what she's up to. Stuff like that. So Daphne shows up, and honey, she shuts the party down. Do you hear me? Daphne comes in with her mother and her brother, and they're walking in, and the suitors start coming up, honey. And they're like, Daphne, because remember, the queen has called her flawless in front of everybody. And so now all the men want to be attached to her, because if the queen approves, girl, you better go get her. You better go get that girl. So they are all coming up to her, and she's like, oh my God, oh my God. So her brother is very overprotective, and he's like, no. And he's like saying snide things to different suitors who come up to her. And it's kind of, it's turning them away. Not kind of, it's turning them away. They're looking like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to deal with this. No, thank you. I really don't, but he's just making it hard. And Anthony is basically taking on this role because his father died. Normally it would be his father who's doing this. The brother's just basically talking everybody away. No one is really good for Daphne. And then the Bridgerton son, Colin, he shows interest in Maria. Remember, not Marina. Not Maria, Marina. She's the distant cousin that came in with the Featheringtons, and she's also being presented. And so the guys are looking at her like, who's this new girl? Like, where does she come from? Who is she associated with? Who is her family? What is her pedigree? Hello? They want to know. So they're surrounding her. And the Duke finally arrives, and the ladies swarm. Now, he is very handsome. He is the character, the actor who's playing Simon is very handsome. So all the girls are coming up to him, and he's over it. He don't want to get married. He does not want to get married. He's like, I don't even know why I'm here. But basically, is helping Lady Danbury. Daphne leads at Anthony's side because he's basically being he's being a hater. He's being a hater. Everybody that comes up to her, he's like, get away. He's saying something slick. He's making them, seem like they're unworthy. So she was like, I'm going to go get myself something to drink. I'll be right back. So she walks all over to get her some punch. And baby, here comes this guy named Lord Burbrook. Lord Burbrook. And he's creepy, looks gross. He looks so gross, and he's not attractive. He's distasteful, if we're going to use the words of the era. And he's just somebody that gives you like the creeps. He's not a Simon at all. He's not even a Colin Bridgerton. He's just gross. And he's older, a little bit older than her, because he makes this comment like, I've been watching you. And she was like, since I was 5? Because he was like, I've been had my eye on you and this and that. And she was like, girl, since when? Because you're older than me, basically. He was like, oh, so gross. He's so gross. He is so gross. So once she is running away from Lord Burbrook, she's running away from him. And as she's running away from him, she bumps into Simon. And Simon was like, you're rude, and saying stuff like that. Like, what kind of what kind of civility do you have? And you bumping into somebody, you don't say excuse me. But she was like, can you just, what's your name again? Like, talk to me. She doesn't know who Simon is. She doesn't know who Simon is at all the girls know who Simon is, and all the girls are surrounding him, but she doesn't know who he is. And when she bumps into him, she was like, okay, get me from this creep Burbrook. So then her brother walks up, right? He's looking like, oh, you know him? And he was like, yes, from our days at Oxford. And she was like, oh my God, if you are a friend of my brother's, ain't no way you over here talking to me about civility. If you're a friend, if I know my brother like I know my brother, and you running around with my brother, ain't nothing civil about you, bruh. Okay? So he walks away. He was like, the brother suggests that they leave. And when she walks away from Simon, she looks over her shoulder, and he looks over his shoulder too. So that's like the beginning. So the next morning, they're getting ready, and Daphne is excited. Daphne really didn't want to leave the ball, but her brother was like, let's go. And you need to leave now because that makes you more, I guess, desirable if you're not really in here being thirsty like the rest of these girls. So the next morning, they're all excited, waiting for the gentlemen callers to come in to really greet Daphne, and nobody is coming. Nobody is showing up because Anthony really made it hard for everybody, and he really kind of put a wall up between, suitors and gentlemen callers and the such, and he really put a wall up for them, and nobody really is fucking with Daphne now. So that's when they're playing Girls Like You on the strings. But Marina Thompson, the girl from the farm, she has suitors lining up, baby. They saying poems. They're coming in trying to, get this new girl. Who is this new girl? So in Lady Whistledown's gossip circular, she's talking about how Daphne is, that the queen must have thought that she picked a good one, but clearly it isn't her. It's clearly Marina. So everybody's upset with that. It's not Daphne, it's Marina. And she's actually the one you want to keep an eye out for. Now, the queen is upset because the queen feels like she got it wrong. She didn't get it wrong. I mean, it's subjective, but the fact that Anthony is standing in between Daphne and potential suitors, it makes it seem like the queen didn't pick the right person. When everybody was like, she's probably one of the best people to get married to because of her heritage and her family. Eloise is hell-bent. Now remember, Eloise Featherington is, Eloise Bridgerton. Child, I gotta get these names together. She is the rebel. She is the daughter. She's the one that is rejecting all of this marriage season, debutante. She wants to go off to school. But she's really hell-bent on figuring out who Lady Whistledown is. So no one's showing up for Daphne, and all of a sudden she gets a caller. Right, and so they're like, oh my God, a caller, somebody's coming to see her. Baby, it's Lord Bearbrook, or whatever his name is, Burbrook. Lord Burbrook, he's creepy, he's older than her. He's not much older than her, but he's just like, probably at least 10 years maybe. He's just old. So he's basically letting her know we're destined for each other because you don't have anybody else here. Don't nobody else want you, girl. I'm the only one who wants you. So what's up? She's looking like, no, there's going to be other people here. So Daphne is really upset. And she's upset with her brother. And she explains to her brother, you know what? They go horseback riding. And she's like, you don't understand what it is for a woman. A woman's life is reduced to a single moment. And she was raised for this. This is all I have. This is all I know. And if no one sees value in me, then I'm worthless, girl. I was looking at her like, girl, shut the... And Eloise, her sister, is on some other shit. She doesn't need that. But Daphne has been raised a certain way, and she wants to be traditional. And in that tradition, your value is determined on if somebody picks you. Now, Burbrook is a good suitor, but he's unattractive. So she's like, I don't want to... And he's creepy, and he's just gross. But he is on paper, his legacy, his pet, he's good on paper. Even her brother was like, he knows how to shoot and all this other stuff. But she's like, nuh-uh, I don't like him. So she's like, if I'm unable to find a husband, I'm going to be worthless. So Lady Whistledown her circular says that the Duke is here. The Duke's presence is known in the town. But he has no plans to marry. She lets the society, no, he does not have any plans to marry. So Anthony Bridgerton and Simon, the Duke of Hastings, is at a gentleman's club, look like a gentleman's club. They're smoking and drinking, having drinks and stuff like that. And he was like, "So you're here during the season to get you a woman. What about you?" So they're talking. He's like, If I'm here to get a woman, what about you? You're the oldest son. What are you doing?" And everybody knows that Anthony is around town sleeping with somebody that is out of his class, right? And he was like, "So what about you? Are you going to get married?" And he's like, "No, I'm good. That's not my thing. I'm just here, whatever." And so Anthony, he doesn't want to really get into the details because he knows, but he can't really say like, "Yeah, I'm sleeping with this opera singer across town." But everybody knows it. Everybody knows. Even his mother knows. So Colin Bridgerton is looking at and courting. He wants to court Marina Thompson. They are liking each other. He likes her. But remember, Penelope Featherington has a crush on Colin Bridgerton. These names, child. Okay. Daphne sees the queen at another ball. I don't remember what ball it was, but she completely shades the shit out of her. She's looking at her like, "Girl, like, you're not the one. I picked it wrong." So she's freaking out. Daphne is freaking out because now the queen has shunned her in public at this ball, so she doesn't know what to do. Lady Danbury invites Lady Bridgerton to her box to watch the show. So they're sitting there and they're talking. And Lady Danbury says, "You know what we need to do? We need to get Simon and Daphne together. That's what we need to do." And she's like, "Okay. Well, okay, let's figure out to do that." Daphne is unaware, and so is Simon. This is Danbury and Lady Bridgerton's idea. In another scene, they cut to Marina, right? She's getting out of the bed and she's pulling her sheets and she hasn't started her cycle, right? And so she's pregnant, clearly. And so she's pulling the sheets. She takes the sheets where the dirty laundry goes. So Lady Danbury says to invite Simon over, give him some gooseberry pie. That's his favorite. He comes over. He's sitting at the table. He was like, "This is, you guys family like this? Y'all sit at the table?" She was like, "Yeah, we have our little disagreements, but we like each other as a family." And so Daphne and Simon are exchanging, they start bickering. They are exchanging, digs at each other, being sarcastic with each other, just bickering, kind of setting the foundation for their relationship. And so they're still trying, Eloise once again, she's trying to figure out who Lady Whistledown is. And so basically in their tit for tat with Daphne and Simon, she basically lets him know that she knows he's a whore and that she doesn't like him. And then she was like, "Well, I'm sure he's basically on some arrogant, like, you probably heard about me, you know about me." She was like, "No, I know your reputation, and if you hang around with my brother, I already know what y'all doing. I already know what y'all doing. You down here." I don't know what a rake is. I assume that it is a whore, a man whore. And I assume the rake, the analogy comes from them just going through town, just picking up all the girls. Picking up all the girls. I don't know what it means. Folks overseas, let me know what a rake is, honey. I guess I could look it up, huh? I could look up what a rake is. So Daphne lets him know, "I'm anything but interested in you, child. Girl, I ain't nobody interested in you. I know you think that you're all of that, and I know you think you done stuck your and everybody down here in town, but honey, I'm not impressed at all." She's looking at him like, "Girl, please." She is, though. Anthony, he lets the mom know that it's not a good idea to hook up Daphne and Simon because Simon ain't shit and he's not going to marry her no matter what you do. He is hell-bent on not getting married. And she explains to him, "Let me tell you something. You're supposed to be the eldest son. You're supposed to be the head of the house, and you're supposed to make sure your sister gets married. What are you doing? Because you're not really doing anything. You're running everybody away from her. What the fuck are you doing?" And not only that, let's talk about the girl across town that you're screwing. Don't act like we don't know what's going on. Like, the mother is like, "We know what you're doing," and he's looking all, pinced up and everything. She basically tells Anthony, you're in Daphne's way. You are going to ruin her chances of partnering with somebody who can elevate our homes, our houses, our families status. We're already up there. She needs to make sure she's getting married to the right person. We cannot do this, and you're dropping the ball. So while you're over there screwing that opera singer across town in your apartment that you don't use, and you only use it for that, baby, she was letting him know. She was like, I don't know who you are, if you're the eldest brother or you're the man of this house. You need to pick something. So he gets upset. Penelope and Colin run into each other at another ball, right? And when Colin runs into Penelope, he asks for Maria and Marina. Why do I keep calling her Maria? Marina. He asked for Marina, and she says Marina is sick, and she's pregnant. So she was like, she's sick. She couldn't make it. She's with Mama. And he was like, oh, okay. So when he's talking to her, this girl named Cowper is her name. She walks over and kind of moves in on Penelope because Penelope has a crush on Colin, and she's talking to him. And she was like, Colin, you haven't signed my card. You're the only one that I haven't danced with. And then she accidentally pours a drink on Penelope. Now, Penelope is a short, little, portly girl. And so he sees that, and he was like, I'm sorry, I can't dance with you, Lady Cowper. I'm going to be dancing with Penelope. So as he's dancing with Penelope, doing all of this dancing and stuff, Anthony runs up to Daphne like he's in a hurry. He runs up to her and he was like, okay, I know who you're going to marry. You're going to marry Lord Burbrook. And she was like, what? And he was like, yes, you're going to marry him. He's a good shot. He's good on paper. Everything. He's letting her know he's a good person to marry. That's who you're going to marry. She was like, I will not marry that dirty old man. I'm not marrying him. She was like, no. And he was like, yeah, you will marry him. She runs away, right? Oh, Lady Featherington comes into Marina's room, and she has the sheets in her hand. And she was like, girl, what's the tea? You didn't have a period. What's up? Is that the reason why you're here? Because you're pregnant? She was like, girl, you wouldn't understand. You guys are so out of touch with reality, this and that. She ends up slapping her. So, you know what it is. She's pregnant. She's not married. She's not attached to any man. So what does that make you? Less than. Do we see that reminiscent in today's society where women with children attached to no man are somehow less than or unworthy of? No man has attached themselves to you. So, and you're pregnant, where's the man? Where is he? And she's like, you wouldn't understand. She ends up slapping her. So when Daphne runs off after her brother tells her she's going to marry this dirty old man, she is in this garden by herself. Now, girls cannot be by themselves, especially if another man is around, because anything can happen and people can start gossiping, and that will ruin your status. You cannot be seen with any man who you're not related to and that you're not married to without a chaperone, okay? So she's in the garden, and Nigel Burbrook comes around the corner, and she was like, you need to go away. Like, I don't even want to talk to you. He was like, no, we're going to be together. Nobody else wants you. And he starts to try to grab her. And when he tries to grab her, he was like, you need to marry me because nobody wants you anyways. She ends up hitting him. But as they're tugging at each other, Simon is coming back from God knows where. And he sees them. And as he's running up to protect Daphne hits Burbrook right in his damn face what he needed to do, because he put his hands on her. And then she realizes, oh my God, I'm alone in this garden with two men without my brother. What the fuck am I going to do? I'm really going to be fucked up if anybody sees me in the garden with you two without my brother. He was like, you know what we need to do? We need to act like we're together. Let's act like we're together. We're going to act like we're together, and I'm going to act like I'm interested in you. That's going to bring you more suitors, since we definitely don't want this guy laying on the floor. That's going to bring you new suitors, and that's going to keep mothers off of me. If I've chosen you, nobody's going to mess with me, but other men will be interested in you. So that's the basis of the ruse that they're going to start. So basically, Simon and Daphne walk out of the garden. He has they're like chained together with her dance card thing, and they start dancing, and everybody's looking. The mother is looking. The brother is looking. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, we cannot believe he's interested in her." So if I don't want to marry, this is the thing. If I don't want to marry and you don't want to marry, we're good. This is going to bring you more suitors, and this is going to keep the mothers off of me. So that's how it ends. That's episode one, and that's how it starts. They're dancing. Everybody's watching them. Lady Whistledown in her circular says this is a unlikely matchup. The Duke of Hastings has shown interest in Lady Bridgerton, and so that's how it ends. That is the episode. Tell me what you thought. Oh my God, talking for 43 minutes. I'm gonna have to get a better way to talk about this. I take so much notes that I want to make sure I catch everything. And I'm acting because I don't know. I act like you guys haven't seen it, so I want to explain it as if you haven't seen it. But I know you guys have seen it, so I just got to get a better way of explaining this. I don't really do a lot of reviewing series, so this is going to be something new for me. I review mostly reality shows and trending topics. It's not something like one scene, two scene. I mean, reality shows is different. We can like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm overthinking it, so let me go. Take care of each other, protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. This is episode 1 of Bridgerton on Netflix.